Nehemiah, in Nehemiah chapter 2, after having prayed and fasted and asking God, God, grant me the ability to go back and just rebuild the walls of the city. You know, a city without walls was a defenseless city. It was a city that anybody can just kind of come in and out. But when a city had walls, it served as a symbol of defense. And, you know, it's a spiritual truth and revelation and impact that, you know, God is the wall of our city. God is the wall of our city. You know, the walls of the city of Jerusalem represented God being the wall, or God being the protection for God's people, which was the Jews. And for a city to have walls, as I mentioned a moment ago, it meant that the city had protection. The same can be said of a city that has God in it. A city that has God in it is a city that has protection. And friends, let me tell you that where the church is, God should be. Where believers are, God should be. You know, I'm driving down. I'm not going to mention the names of the boroughs of where I'm driving down because, you know, I don't want there to be, you know, any mass, you know, infiltration of these places, because at the same time, you know, even though we take authority over the cities that we're in, it does not mean that we have to be these, you know, crazy revolutionaries where, you know, we start going into these places and, you know, standing in front of them and rebuking them and things like that. You say, well, isn't that what you're doing? Well, if you notice, I'm standing quite at a distance because I don't want to disrespect what's going on in those places. You know, the authority and the power of God that I believe that's upon me and that's upon you has enough impact to transcend from outside of me. I'll tell you how this is played into effect. You know, the scriptures goes on to tell us, you know, for example, that Paul was used in extraordinary miracles. For example, the handkerchiefs that were used from the sweat of his brow were laid on sick people and they were healed. And even Peter's shadow, as it was cast upon sick people as he walked by, they were healed. They were healed. So I believe that God has the power to work supernatural things through us as we are obedient to God. So we're definitely going to go for this ride. Just hold on tight. We'll be there in a moment.